¿Qué onda, mi gente? Bienvenidos a mi canal. Hoy vamos a hablar sobre ChatGPT y cómo lo podemos usar para practicar y mejorar nuestro español. So recently, and ignore what's on the screen right now, this is just a breakdown of the course I teach. If you want more info on that, use the link down below to sign up for my email list to get your verb tense cheat sheet, ask me questions via WhatsApp, right? But one of the biggest tools that I've started to use recently is ChatGPT. ChatGPT is such an amazing tool. It can be used from everything from beginners to advanced students. And in fact, I'm kind of considering the challenge of seeing if I can't learn a language completely using ChatGPT and recording that experience. So if you think that sounds like a good idea, leave a comment down below. Right. So one of the best things that we can practice with on ChatGPT is just to practice grammar, right? Say like, hey, I want to practice the present tense. Give me 10 sentences with the verb provided so I can practice conjugations. It's going to give you a bunch of sentences, right? It's going to give me the verb, and then I have to decide based on the subject who it is, right? What the conjugation is. On top of this, we can also use it to explain certain things. Like I could ask, explain the present tense. Then I can read the present tense description. I can go back up here and be like, okay, I've got the conjugations. I understood everything, right? And so I can go, yo hablo, tu hablo, maybe ella habla, right? And the good thing about this is that it's going to then turn around and give me the answers and correct it, right? So it's going to tell me what I did right, what I did wrong, what is going on, why this is happening, right? And then I can go back up here, learn about my grammar, things like that, right? I can also use this idea to practice, like, for example, one thing that people always get confused on is I want to practice ser versus estar in the present, right? Give me 15 sentences, practice conjugating correctly, right? It's going to give me my sentences. I can then sit there and practice it, right? And so does it give me the sentences, so I'll write my answer, right? Okay, so yo soy, tú eres, ella es, nosotros estamos, right? And give my answers. And again, it's going to correct them, tell me what I did wrong, what I did right, and what I can improve, right? Another way in which we can use ChatGPT to practice is by having it write us short stories, right? So I can tell ChatGPT, write me a short story in the present about a bear named Oso. And then I'll give it, A2 level, right? Which if you don't know what the levels are, A level is like the beginning, B level is the intermediate, and C level is advanced, with the 1 and 2 denominating lower versus higher. So A1 is lower beginner. You basically just know a handful of phrases. Hi, good morning, how are you? I want this, right? And then A2 is like what I call tourist level Spanish, where you can go to the cafe, you can go to the market, and kind of navigate daily life, right? And then once you get into the B1 level, that's where we're getting more of like traveler Spanish. We're able to have more longer in-depth conversations. You're able to discuss who you are, where you're from, what you like to do, things like that. And so I've gotten this story here. I can sit here and read it. I can ask, for example, to explain, what is le gusta? Explain that to me. And I'll be able to get off the story exactly an explanation of what we're looking at, how it's going to work, right? And then I can sit here and read the story. Oso es un oso grande y marrón, vive en un bosque con muchos árboles y un río de agua fría. Todos los días, and I can also use this to ask about expression. What does todos los días mean? Right? And it's going to give me that answer. Here again, the explanation of gustar, what's going on. It's going to explain everything, how it works, right? Why it's written like that. I'm going to break down my expressions, right? We could also ask, if you're at a more intermediate level, we could ask for, give me a famous Spanish poem to read, right? At the intermediate level, I think poetry is really good. You're seeing generally simpler texts. They're generally shorter, so you can focus on just the reading and not necessarily following along to the whole plot, right? And so I can sit here and read this, same thing. I can ask it to explain grammar things. I can ask it to tell me what the words are. I could even ask for just the straight up translation, which is already given me, right? And it's going to allow me to practice my Spanish at a higher level than just reading simple sentences or practicing simple sentences, right? We could also ask for, paragraphs where we're filling in words, we're filling in conjugations, things like that, right? We can also use ChatGPT to talk about and ask for, maybe cultural insights to learn more about the culture. Like I might just put in here, explain to me Mexican culture, right? And it's going to come up with a whole blurb about what makes Mexico special, what their values are. Talk about here, it's going to talk about food, right? Which is really well known for, the music and dance styles that you might find, festivals and holidays, things like that, right? And the last, and probably my favorite way to use it, is as a conversation partner. So I'm going to type in here, be my conversation partner, correct me, and ask me follow-up questions in Spanish. So it asks me, how are you today? And I might respond, estoy muy bien. Fui la mañana a desayunar y después a tomar un café con un amigo. Ahora estoy grabando videos para mi canal de YouTube sobre el aprendizaje de español. And so hopefully, if everything goes well, it's going to correct me and tell me what I did wrong. It's going to ask me, ¿cómo fue el desayuno que comiste? And I can respond to that. A un lugar que se llama Tistal, aquí en Puerto Escondido. Comí chilaquiles mixtos con un café de olla. Estuvo muy deliciosa. This is the biggest way I've been using it recently to practice my Arabic, right? So I'll switch to Arabic real fast so you can see. I might say, Ana Bahib, cut that out, right? It's going to continue to ask you questions over and over again. I really like this for Arabic. My Arabic is not at the level to give recommendations at the moment, but it is a really, really good tool to practice. It is the best way to practice conversation in a chill way with no pressure and be able to have a chance to think a little bit before. And I really suggest you engage in conversations that you might actually have about your day-to-day, right? What did you do today? Where did you go? Who did you hang out with? And then ChatGPT is going to continue to ask you questions. Like I might change this completely and say, and then it's going to ask me questions about that, right? It's going to ask me what time the class is. How's the training going? La clase pasa a las 12 y me va muy bien. Estoy aprendiendo mucho. Recién competí. And I've used this for Portuguese. I've used it for French. I'm using it for Arabic now. This is probably my favorite way to use ChatGPT. If you like this video and you're interested in learning more about how to use ChatGPT, I suggest you use the link in the comments or description below to sign up for my 7-day course via email, where I'll give you my verb tense cheat sheet and then give you a bunch of tips and tricks on how to use it, as well as how to use other tools like Dual Language Books or like ChatGPT in order to practice Spanish and get better. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys have any questions, be sure to leave them in the comments down below. Be sure to like, subscribe, all that stuff, and I'll see you in the next video.